say they're holding an ISIS flag. If the police went in and tried to stop them, there's a riot, and the police know it. So constantly they just allow it. That you saw the Palestinian demonstrations, you saw the hatred, they're calling for gassing the Jews. Literally the most hatred we've seen on our streets of our capital city, and the police are standing there, big smiles on their faces. Yet if it was a British...
How much influence do Jews have in UK?
Jews are a very small community in the UK. Now, there's obviously the conspiracy which comes from the genuine Nazis and far right, that the Jews control everything. I think if they control everything and they control the media, they're not doing a very good job, are they? Because everything's attacking them. And for
because there was a tweet exchange between you and Dan Bilzerian, I believe. Rob, if you want to pull that one up, there was
limits.
Do you have it? Do you know which one I'm talking about? Where slavery, money, and then you responded back to him. Let's see which one it is. I'll pull it up here. He said, "You will remain a slave as long as you worship money." May 31st. He said this at one of Tate's tweets. You respond back, said, Iran's bitch talking about escaping slavery. Dan's been very critical of Jews, right? Very. And I don't know if Tate, do you and Tate have a relationship together?
So me and Tate, before he was Tate, we're from the same town. So yeah, we do. Yeah, we're friends.
Friends till today?
Friends still today.
Till today.
So what's happened is, this is my view. So if you look at Qatar has been...
But you know what, I want to preface this. The reason why I'm saying this is, if Jews are as powerful as they are, and they own all these politicians around the world, how is UK in the state that it is, where Muslims are able to do what they're doing, with getting away with it, if Jews have this much power?
Well, they're not. It's an easy way out is to blame the Jews for everything. Yeah. So even Muslims, even when it comes to ISIS or terrorism, they say, "Oh, they're Jewish groups. Everything's Jewish groups. Oh, that's a false flag. That was the Jews. That was a terrorist. Because it's nothing to do with us. That was Jews as well. Everything's the Jews." Now, with the anti-Jew hatred, I think Mein Kampf, Hitler's book, is 7% Jew hatred. The Quran is 11%. Yeah? Take Israel out of the equation. Muhammad hated the Jews. if Israel wasn't there. Now I get called a Zionist. Yeah, I get called a Zionist all the time. I have this big, people attack me all the time, say I'm funded by. I've never received any funding. I just give my honest opinion. Israel is surrounded by totalitarian Islamic.
Did Shulman support you, or no? Robert Shulman?
I've never spoke to Robert Shulman in my life.
Story saying that he paid you $6,000 a month, or anything like that.
I worked, so I had this with so say like. Who Daz Ziljan, whatever his name is he making money on YouTube? Because if he is, the owners of YouTube are Zionists, which means he's receiving funding from Zionists. That's what they've done to me. So I work for Ezra Levin. I've never met Robert Shulman.
That's Sky News.
Ezra is a Rebel Media.
Rebel Media, yes.
Ezra's Jewish in Canada.
Right.
I work for him. It was £5,000 a month wage. Yeah. And because Bob Shulman gave donations or funding to Ezra, I've never met him. Never had a conversation with him.
Got it.
So because he gave them money and I took away from them, it's exactly the same as, in fact, any company. If you pick any company and you look somewhere, there'll be some Jewish person involved in it. They'll say, "Oh, you're receiving funding from Jews." That's what they've done.
And now, what are you? What do you believe in? Are you a Christian? Are you a Jew? What would you say? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You're a Christian?
I'm a Christian, yeah. I've been pushed more. So I used to say that I didn't believe. My mum was a Catholic, brought up. But then as I've seen the attacks on Christianity, and I've also seen the decay in British society, and the fall of Britain has come from the fall of belief. We have since we've stopped believing, and what built Great Britain? Christianity. What built everything about us, everything about our nation that everyone wants to come to it and make it a success was built on Christianity. Since that's descended, since it's been coming under attack, since people have left it, it's left a void, and that void's being filled. And if we want to understand and remember who we are, as part of our identity, I say to some people, even if you don't believe in Christianity, you don't have to believe in Jesus. That's what built us as a nation. That must be protected. That's part of our identity. But when it comes to the Israel and Jew things, I think Qatar, if you look at Qatar spent nearly £750 million in funding Islamic organizations across Europe. Yeah? Radical jihadist mindset. Qatar are behind it. They've been allowed to buy every port in our country. They own half of London. Our politicians have sold their souls to Qatar. Yeah? And Qatar come in. Now, what Qatar used to do, and these countries used to do, they used to fund little charities, Islamic charities, and they'd fund them to be on the streets calling for dawah. Well, that's gone. What is influential now? Influencers. Okay? Sneeko. I watched Sneeko convert to Islam, yeah? I don't know why he's converted to Islam. He's gay. So he's converted to Islam.
Sneeko's gay.
Well, I've watched a video from him saying, well, I wasn't sure if I was gay or not, yeah? If you're not sure if you're gay or not, Sneeko, you're gay, yeah? It's pretty simple, okay? That's what his words, not mine. So I'm just going by his words, yeah? But I watched Sneeko, and then he converts to Islam because it's become trendy. Remember, people like us telling the truth about Islam, we were attacked and silenced. And then Islam comes in with all its money and it becomes very trendy, yeah? And it becomes trendy because all the money's coming and funding it. Now, Sneeko converts and then he goes and makes some video in Saudi Arabia, very well produced video. He's drawing the American youth. You need to wake up in America, yeah? The same with Andrew Tate, okay? These people, in my view, so many of the people, I see these TikTokers now after October 7th, yeah? I saw a black TikToker in America and she's got the Quran and I've just decided to pick up the Quran and start reading it. I think, oh, fuck off. How much have you been paid for that? Yeah. So to get the influence with the next generation of youth, do you know how many people converted to Islam when Andrew Tate converted to Islam? Do you know how many come out of prison holding the Quran? Do you know all these things? In my view, like this is, in my view, there's Matt, and especially with Sneeko. If you want to pick up the Quran, pick up my Quran. It explains exactly how it is rather than theirs. But all of these people, the way they now reach the public, as in there are billions of pounds to be spent in order to convert people to Islam. In my town centre, there's a shop called Discover Islam. Yeah, it's a shop that's funded. Its sole purpose is to convert non-Muslims to Islam, and that's in every town and city across the UK. There's a mass, and they work with the council. So if America do not wake up to the power and the influence coming in from the money from Saudi Arabia, they're going to convert your youth. And when they convert your youth through the prison system or on the streets, they're going to turn them so quickly and so fast against America and against your own culture and against Christianity and against the Jews. And so the whole Jew hatred thing, it's become fashionable. Do you know what's not fashionable? I get so much criticism. I think I don't get any benefit from it. I'm just speaking the truth. When I grew up in Luton, the Islamic Jihadist Center is the old synagogue, okay? I have seen so much Jew hatred in my hometown. I remember there was a young family remembering the Holocaust, and it was on the anniversary of, they were having some date, and all the jihadists turned up, and the young family had to lock himself inside the town hall. I don't know any Jewish gangs selling heroin. I don't know any Jewish rape gangs raping their way through our country. I don't know any bad Jews. I know Islamic, out of control, jihadists, criminals, terrorizing our nation from one end of it to the other. And somehow they want to blame that on the Jews as well. So Dan is going for his next money shot. If you ask me, Dan Blizzardjan, whatever his name is, like, he's going for the next. He knows if you look at how many likes he gets from being against the Jews, blaming everything on the Jews, and you have in America, it's more mainstream, but it's becoming mainstream in the UK as well. There's so many now. If I was Jewish, I'd be worried, really worried. I'd be really, really worried. So, of what's happening across France. You know, I done a video.
I saw a video of Sneeko. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, discard it. We'll leave it. I'm not saying edit it, but I thought I saw a clip that Sneeko was tired of the way of being a Muslim himself. I may be wrong, Rob. If you can look.
Interview, and he was having a go because they're always stressing him how he has to live his life. Yeah, because he doesn't believe any of it. It's all bullshit.
What do you think Tate's reasoning is? Because you've known Tate,
yep.
For his brother stays being a Christian, but Tate leaves when he goes to jail and he says, the people that wrote me letters were Muslims, but not a single Christian person wrote me a letter when I was Muslim. Have you spoken to him about it or no?
So I believe Christian leadership has failed us. But I believe there's a revival happening right now in Great Britain. I'm going to make a mini documentary on it. Something's happening. Something big is happening. We went to our demonstration, 100,000 people, and there was a lad, and he had Christ is King banner, and the whole place was erupting. And then I looked as 100,000 people were chanting Christ is King in the middle of Trafalgar Square. This is unthinkable, unseen. Something's happening. When you have your loss of identity, loss of culture, and you feel at threat, people are looking back to where it's come from. But the church leadership are traitors to us, in many of them. We need masculine Christianity. I think with Andrew Tate, he's a chess player. And I think that when he was deplatformed, I'd love to have a discussion with Andrew Tate personally on it. We're going to disagree on a lot, me and Andrew Tate. We go back years, but we're going to disagree on a lot. Because I think that when Andrew Tate, he made a comment that he didn't realise the influence he had when he used to make videos. And this is when he got deplatformed. And if he could do it again, he maybe think more careful about what he's saying. Yet there he is telling people and drawing people to Islam. Now, if Andrew Tate now decided he didn't believe in Islam, didn't believe a word of it, He can't even come out and say it. They'll kill him. He can't become the most famous apostate in the world. He'd be dead. They want him more than they want me.
You think they'd kill him?
100%. He'd be the biggest target.
Whether you agree with Tommy or not, guess what? You can now get a hold of him on Connect. He will respond back on Connect. You can simply download the app. He's officially on there. Ask him any question. You agree with him. You don't agree with him. An article, something you saw, but now you can get direct contact with Tommy Robinson on Connect.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.